Hey guys, Crystal here from Elite Hair Care USA. So this is a quick video on curling relaxed hair. Of course, this also works with natural hair. And then we'll talk a little bit about hair care in between. So my client here came in for a relaxer. She also got a semi-permanent color. So you might see a little bit of the burgundy hue in her hair. I use Joico in color intensity for her color. And then I'm going through and I'm just blow drying her hair to finish drying it. She did go under the dryer for about 20 minutes after the completion of the relaxer, just to get some of that excess water out of the hair before I blow dried her. Anybody that knows me knows that I do not like to blow dry the hair when it is extremely wet. Why? Because the hair is actually at its most volatile state when it is wet. It is at its most pliable state. It is at the easiest point of damage any other time in the service, especially when you are using a blow dryer and blowing or brushing or combing through it. So that's another reason why I like to partially dry my clients about 50 to 60% of the way, and then I'll blow dry them the remainder of the way. Now, what I'm using to blow dry her is a paddle brush. I'm not a huge fan of the comb attachment blow dryers anymore. I feel like they don't get the hair straight enough for me. And then I feel like I also am just doing too much tugging and raking through the hair when I'm using the comb attachment blow dryer. That doesn't mean that you're doing anything wrong, guys, but this is just my preference, okay? That's my preference. So now that the hair is thoroughly dried, I want you guys to take notice that her hair is straight, but it is not bone straight. Okay, that's one thing that I like about relaxing. I don't take the hair to the point where it has no life. I like to leave some density in the hair whenever possible. Now, the serum that I just put on her hair is our Frizz Tamer and Shine Serum. This is a CBD infused serum that is also a heat protectant and also adds gloss and sheen to the hair. I love to use it right before I do anything to my client's hair, especially when I'm going to use any type of hot tools. Of course, heat protectant is very important. And if you notice, I did not put it on before I blow dried her. I use it after the blow dry, okay? Now, the iron that I'm using is the Babyliss Prima. I think it's the 3100 or 30. I've had this iron so long. I'm using it just to give her what we call like some barrel curls or just some loose curls for her hair. And then we're going to wrap her at the end. Now, I like to do this for clients who like to get their hair wrapped and they want their wrap to last a lot longer. I believe that when you flat iron the hair and you make it bone straight from the beginning and then they go and wrap their hair and go home, they don't have any life in their hair. There's no movement. It's just there. It's just blah. So the reason why I like to do the curls, especially for my longer hair clients, is because I know it's going to preserve the body in the hair. It's going to give it that volume. It's going to have a beautiful flow, and it's still going to have some type of shape to it once she removes or combs down her actual wrap. So this is something that I would say to do, especially for those of you who like to have that volume in your hair. Don't start out with it bone straight. Start out with it with a nice barrel curl or a very loose curl and then wrap it. And you'll see a huge difference in how your hair reacts and how much life you give it through the actual wrap without it just being blah. I call it blah. She did get a trim. Well, she is getting a trim at the same time with the curls. Now, let's talk about trims. Trims are very, very important. For those of you who get retouch relaxers or relaxers and your stylist is not trimming your hair after that point, please mention it to them. This is a very important step in your hair care journey, especially for relaxed clients. I typically recommend a trim be done with every retouch relaxer. But if your stylist is retouch relaxing you once a month, I would not follow that schedule. I would follow the schedule of at least every 8 to 12 weeks in regards to your trim schedule, especially for relaxed hair. This is a very important step. Now, what you're about to see me do is how you are able to preserve the curls in your hair if you choose to do so. So what I did was create a pin curl, and then I take a bobby pin, which is the long bobby pins, and I'm going to stick that into the hair. Now, I do it where the bobby pin is laying right across the actual curl, and that will preserve that curl. If you don't have bobby pins, guys, please go out and get some. I wouldn't recommend you doing this with any other type of pin, because it's going to leave what we call a negative line or make a fish hook or something of that nature. Now, I'm showing you another way to actually do these curls as well, where you are able to do a barrel curl and pin it right on base at the same time. On base, for those of you that don't know what on base is, that's something that they talked about in school parts of school. But all you want to do is just make sure that you secure the curl to the base of the head, or the base of that curl. That's all it is. Outside of that, you go through, and the reason why I'm pinning the hair as I go is because I want to lock in the shape of that curl. Okay, that is exactly what it does. It is basically getting that curl in place, and it's going to cool that way, so it will lock the curl in and preserve the curl a lot longer than it would if you left the hair hanging in the way that it was before. So I usually like to do this in big sections, unless my client wants a lot of body. Then at that point, I will do it in smaller sections. But for me, I do big curls and then just pin it on the scalp. That's it. So guys, this is also, like I said, a way that you can preserve your curls at home. Pin curl your hair at night, and then you'll leave the hair, put your hair in a scarf or whatever it is. I wouldn't recommend using a bonnet with this, because all it's going to do is create a lot of frizzing to the hair. I would more say use a bandana or something that will be flat on the head and will also make the curl go flat. So pin curling it would be the best bet. Let's just call it what it is. Okay. So let's talk flat irons. Would I recommend using this titanium iron at home? Absolutely not. Reason being is when you come into the salon, we only see you like once a week, once every 2 weeks, once every quarter, once a year, once every other year. This is not the type of iron that I would say to use at home, because you're going to use it more frequently. And titanium irons carry a lot of direct heat. It's very, very hot. So I would suggest any type of ceramic iron, FHI, Chi. Babyliss has ceramic irons that you can get. I think it's they have a red one called Extreme. There's so many different companies. Those are just the 3 that I know off the top of my head. H2 Pro, whomever, guys. But I recommend a very good or high quality ceramic iron. Not the ceramic irons that you get for $4 in the beauty supply store. Not those. Please, guys. You get what you pay for. But a good flat iron, typically in price range, will range between about $50 to maybe $150. And it's something that you will have for a good amount of time. Okay, a good amount of time. So we're just going to finish out curling her crown area. In this particular phase of it, a lot of people will say, okay, so do I go to bed with my hair pinned just like this? This type of pinning is what I would do if you're going to go somewhere the same day. If you're going to do this for you to go to bed, then I recommend the first pin curl that we did, where we secured it against the head with a bobby pin. Those lay flat, and then you're able to put your scarf on it as well, and not have to worry about your curl being smushed and coming out in the wrong direction, or coming out looking crimpy, or just not even coming out the right way, period. Okay, so this is something that I would do even with your extensions, guys. You can do the same thing with your extensions, especially for those of you who like to get longer hair, and you like that body wave look, and you want those loose curls. Curl your hair and pin it, and you'll see a huge difference in how long your curls last and how nice and pretty and crisp your curls are. Okay, so once you finish the actual curling process, you usually want to make sure that you start from the point of where you started doing the curls, because that area has already cooled. You don't want to remove the curl while it's still warm, because you're kind of killing the process. You're not going to actually save the curl any more than when you would have left it hanging. So you want to let that area dry specifically, and then you get back to that area. It only takes like about a minute or 2. It's not something that takes a very long time, guys. So you just want to let it dry. Okay, well, I said let it dry, let it cool. All right, so I sprayed a little bit of our Goddess polish, which is our thermal hair polish. It's a very lightweight polish. And then we'll go through and I pull all the curls out. If you notice, they have this nice shape, a nice sheen. They're not just drooping. That is the purpose of actually doing it this way. And then I'm going to show you guys what it looks like before I wrap her up. If you notice, it's just beautiful. It just flows. It looks nice and healthy. You know, her curls aren't just dropping. She doesn't have any straight pieces. So this is something that I definitely like to do with my clients who have longer hair, or those who want a lot of density or volume in their hair. This is something, it's not supposed to be uniform. It's supposed to be nice and messy, and just look at it. Just look at it. If you like what you see, guys, please don't forget to comment down below. Please don't forget, if you are new to my Instagram, don't forget to hit that follow button. And then, of course, just comment, tell me what you think. If you do this to your hair, please also tell me if you do this to your hair. So now what I'm doing is I'm just going through and I am wrapping her up to go home. We are not going to do the saran wrap method for her. I am not going to need this immediately, so she's able to get wrapped up and go home, especially because it's raining outside. So I just quick wrap. That's it. Put some pins in. And here's the thing with the hairpins. When you get the pins in your hair, guys, the moment you get home, you need to put your scarf on and take the pins out. Do not leave the pins in your hair. It is going to create some negative lines that you do not want, and they're very hard to get out. So you don't want to leave the pins in your hair overnight. Okay? Thanks, guys, for watching. I hope you have an amazing day. Bye.